Well, hello. Good day to you today. This is Garen. I'm here with another video for you. The last one I put up was on the 7 heads of Revelation. Today I'd like to talk to you about the beast from the bottomless pit. That will be covered in Revelation chapter 11 verse 7 and chapter 18 verse 8. Now I've broken this down into 2 or 3 different parts. I feel like that maybe my last lesson was a little bit too long. I'm going to break this up, make it a little easier to read. It won't take quite as long to get through it. So hopefully it'll be easier on all of you. This information is basically for those who have missed the rapture. We've all been warned. The Bible has given us clues and told us what's going to take place. And we've all been warned, but a lot of us just simply do not learn it unless we experience it. And for those who have to learn by experience it, this is what they will experience after the rapture if they're still here. The word beast in the book of Revelation appears for the first time in chapter 11 verse 7. What does the word beast represent in the book of Revelation? I'll have phrases and words throughout the lesson that will be important that I'll try to bring your attention to, let you know that these are things that you need to be aware of, and something that new that you might need to learn in order for you to understand the story that I'm trying to give to you. Now this word beast symbolizes 3 things. It can be a human being, and you can find that in Revelation 13:1, and that would be the beast out of the sea, which is the Antichrist. This word beast also can be a supernatural being. In other words, a fallen angel, a devil, a demon. An example of a supernatural being would be the beast out of the bottomless pit, and that would be such as the prince of Persia in Daniel 10:13, the prince of Grecia in Daniel 10:20, and the prince of Babylon in Daniel 11:1. It can also be an empire. In Revelation, it is the 8th kingdom, which will be the revived Grecian kingdom. You see that in Revelation 13:2 and Daniel 7:6. Now the beast out of the abyss, the beast out of the sea, the beast as the 8th kingdom are all different things, but all 3 are to be recognized in one symbol, and that symbol is the beast. So you have to be aware of which one you're talking about to get your picture clear. There is a being that helps the Antichrist rise to power after the rapture. And he continues to help him after the 8th kingdom is formed. Before we find out who this individual is, we must first accept that where he comes from really does exist, and that other beings live there with him. So we're going to try to establish who it is, but to help us establish who it is, we're going to find out where he lives, who his roommates are, and all that kind of stuff to get a clear picture. Now the bottomless pit, or the abyss, is the prison for demons and certain satanic princes. These princes are rulers of kingdoms, in other words, world governments. Now here's a tip for you, something that you need to remember. Write it down someplace so that you'll always have it handy. No human spirit ever goes to or comes from the bottomless pit. No human spirit ever goes to or comes from the bottomless pit. So now we have to ask the question, does the bottomless pit really exist? Is it really out there, or is it just something that we think is, we just say, yeah, it's there, but we really don't believe it? In Revelation 9:1, we're going to be going through the book, through chapter 9 of Revelation here. 9 verse 1 says, I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. There is an individual that came to earth from heaven, and in his possession was a key, and that key fit this bottomless pit. In verse 2, and he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit. 9:3, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth. I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit. Revelation 20, verse 1. So, in my mind, the pit really exists. It is there. People come and go in it, or not people, but individuals come and go. Those that are in there are confined. They're in jail. They're in prison. Sometimes they're unlocked and let go for a little while. But we need to find out who's there. So who is it that actually lives in this bottomless pit? There's three groups. There are demons that are there, and their job is to hurt men, to hurt mankind. And the shape of the locusts were like unto horses, and their faces were as the faces of men. Revelation 9:7. And their power was to hurt men 5 months. 9:10. They had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue he's called Apollyon. 9:11. Now we jump over to Luke, and we read about when Jesus was on the lake and he came ashore, and he ran into the man from Gadara, and Jesus asked him, he says, what is your name? And this individual said, my name is Legion, because many devils were entered into him. Well, this many devils was about 6,000 devils, because a legion was was 6,000 troops in the Roman army at that time. You find that in Luke chapter 8, verse 30. And they, the devils, besought Jesus that he would not command them to go out into the deep. In other words, they didn't want to go out into the bottomless pit. Luke 8:31. Jesus said, well, if you don't want me to send you out to the bottomless pit, what do you want? And they said that we want to go into them pigs over on the hillside over there. He said, okay, go. So then went the devils out of the man in Luke 8:33. Now what you have to keep in mind is that these devils, these demons, they knew about the bottomless pit, and they did not want to be sent there. They knew what it was like, and they had no desire to go there. They would rather inhabit pigs and water around in the mud than to be confined to the bottomless pit. That's our first group, those demons that are there to hurt man. The second group are demons that their job is to slay man, to kill mankind. 9:14 says, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Verse 15, the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, a day, a month, a year, for to slay the third part of men. Revelation 9:15. Notice that these 4 angels are not bound in the bottomless pit. They are released from the Euphrates so that they can lead 200 million horsemen from the bottomless pit. Revelation 9:16, the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000,000. That translates to 200 million. I saw the horses and them that sat on them, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. 9:17. By these 3 was the third part of men killed, by the fire, by the smoke, and by the brimstone. Revelation 9:18. If you'll notice here in verse 15, these 4 bound fallen angels had been prepared to do something at a certain hour, at a certain day, and a certain month, and a certain year. That something is to kill a third part of men. At a certain hour, just as the firstborn in Egypt were killed at midnight when Moses started the Exodus and they left Egypt. Now these four angels are superior in rank to the demon horsemen. They are present and in charge of the 200 million demon horses who are riding horsemen who are riding the horses that have lion heads and lion mouths. Each one of these four angels will take 50 million horsemen and go in the four directions of the earth. Notice that in verse 18, out of these lion mouths goes fire, smoke, and brimstone that kills a third part of men. These four angels and 200 million demon cavalry riding these demon horses are in the same place at the same time to kill a third part of men. Revelation 9:18. Now we come to our third group of demons that live in the bottomless pit. These are demons that have a special title. They are called a prince. Certain demons carry the title of prince, which is always the demon in charge of a principality. Now, a principality is a territory, an area, a place, or a group that may range in size from as large as a nation to as small as a person. And when a principality is determined by Satan, he sets a prince over it, and the prince is then authorized to use as many demons as necessary from all orders and ranks to perform Satan's work in that specified principality. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. Revelation 9:11. This proves that the fallen angels and demons have a chain of command similar to our military chain of command. Now Daniel tells us that the satanic princes rule the governments of the earth. In Daniel 10:20, it says, I will return to fight with the prince of Persia, and when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. Also I, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. This is Daniel 11:1. This is Gabriel explaining to Daniel that previously he had stood with Michael to confirm and to strengthen Michael when it was Michael's responsibility to overthrow the prince of Babylon so that the prince of Persia might come. Daniel 11:1. Satan is the prince of devils. There's certain devils, certain demons carry the title of prince, but Satan is the chief culprit of all of them. He is the worst of all of them. He is the demon that he is the prince. You can find that in Matthew 12:24. In Matthew 4:8, it says the devil took Jesus up into an exceeding high mountain and shows him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. Matthew 4:8. And he saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Matthew 4:9. And the devil taking him up into a high mountain showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world. Luke 4:5. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomever I will I give it. Luke 4:6. Matthew and Luke make it clear that Satan rules the governments of the earth. Even so, there will come a day when Satan will be defeated and cast into the bottomless pit. And he laid hold on the dragon, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. Revelation 20, verse 2. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. Revelation 23, verse 3. Now, what you need to keep in mind is we experience Satan's activities here on earth now, but we will never experience his release from the bottomless pit in our lifetime. Now, this is where I'm going to stop at on this part of the lesson. This is the end of part 1. But now for you to continue to benefit from what's being said, you have to go back and review this on your own. And I've got 5 or 6 questions that you need to answer to know where you're at and how much this is soaking in. What should you have learned in what I have said so far? The first thing that you should remember is, that you should learn it and remember it, is the word beast is represented by 3 different things. A lot of people don't know that. And because they don't know it, they cannot get the right interpretation of Revelation. The second thing is that no human spirit ever goes to or comes from the bottomless pit. Nowhere will you find that a human spirit goes to the bottomless pit. So when you hear it taught that the Antichrist is the beast from the bottomless pit, he comes out and starts doing his thing, it will immediately tell you that's not correct, because the Antichrist is a human being. He is a mortal man that will be killed at the Battle of Armageddon, so he cannot possibly come out of the bottomless pit. You should have also learned that the bottomless pit is literal. It exists. It has a door. It has some kind of a covering that has some kind of a lock that requires a key to either let people in or let somebody in or let somebody out. It is a confined area. If you go in, you can't come out without somebody unlocking it for you. The fourth thing that you need to remember, that there are 3 different groups of demons who are in prison there. One group is to hurt man, another group is to slay man, the third group is these princes who rule the governments of the earth. You also need to be aware of and be able to convince yourself and believe that these demon princes rule the governments of the earth. That's only 5 things that you need to learn in a 15-minute session. But the thing of it is, if you learn them, if you know what they mean, are you able to convince yourself that they're the truth, or do you prefer to believe some other interpretation? Now, I've got a lot more to say here, and I will do it in the next 2 or 3 parts, but I'm going to try to make it short, and at the end of each lesson, check and see what it is that we should be getting out of it and what you should be learning, and see if you're picking up any of it. I'm trying to do this for your benefit. I by no means know everything, but I do think that I have a little bit of information that will be helpful to you if I can just convince you to believe it. All right, that's all I've got for tonight. I appreciate you watching it, and I hope you benefit from it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.